I understand YouTube, I understand people, right?
Right.
I understand how to tell stories. 10-minute video if I have to create that too with high editing, like say Aevy, I would charge anywhere between 60K to 1 lakh.
Right.
Aram se.
If I want to freelance,
Freelancing is a boring job. I create the best videos
true.
in India.
I agree with you. No shit. What's up, people? It's your boy Sanskar, and in this video, I talked to Martin Noronha, the co-founder and head of editing at Aevy TV, the YouTube channel which blew up from 0 to 180k subs in just about 4.5 months. Martin is one of the best video editors in India and a super fun guy to talk to. In this conversation, you learn three things. 1. How to edit videos like a ninja. Number 2. Should you freelance? And if yes, how much can you make? And number 3. The YouTube success formula. Plus a bunch more nuggets here and there. So please subscribe and let's get started. Hey Martin, welcome to the
Hi.
podcast. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
So to begin with, can you please tell the audience about yourself?
Sure. So, hi guys. I basically started out as a DJ, and I work for a company called Aevy Ventures. Right, we run a YouTube channel called Aevy TV. Right, where I am one of the co-founders, and I take care of production and editing. Right, and if you guys have seen the crazy skits, the crazy dance moves, and the crazy presentations that happen on Aevy TV, that's somewhat comes from my team. Right, it's not only me right now, but yeah, it's so much fun, right? And previously I used to work with Avalon, right, with Varun. I used to we were building a scenes platform, right, for communities, right, for B2B companies. And yeah, I'm very excited to be here. So yeah, there you go.
Awesome. So who all creators or YouTubers have you worked with so far as a video editor?
So I've worked with a couple of YouTubers, plus I've worked with a lot of companies, right? For me, I came so first was Bollywood, then second I think I met Varun, right, on Discord. Right? I had created so
Okay.
basically we had this community called the Avalon Meta Virtual Campus, right?
Okay.
And when Avalon was running Avalon Meta, right? So I joined the Discord server. We had a lot of fun, right? So I first met Varun, like I started creating videos for Avalon first. Then I worked with Sushank, right, as usual.
Okay.
I worked with
Great.
Abhinav also. I worked with Raj Shamani also. Raj Shamani, I did some videos, right, some ads and all. I also worked with Tane Pratap, right.
Okay.
I also, like, recently I worked with one of my really good friends, Rishi on business, right, on
Okay. Oh,
shooting videos or whatever, right? And I've also worked with a lot of companies like Stoa School, if you've heard about them. There
okay.
is
Right. Yes.
uh, there is also Newton School. I worked with them for like freelance, and yeah, and Avalon.
So how much do you think a good freelancer can earn? Like who knows decent amount of editing, not just the basics, but is in the industry for some time.
Yeah. So basically, I've always kept this in mind, right? Like whenever people price, or like whenever, like, a lot of people ask me questions about pricing and about freelance, how much money can I charge my client, right? First of all, understand what kind of problem you're solving for the client. I understand that you will solve the problem at some point, but if the problem is, like, if you're making his life only 10% better, just charge worth 10%, right?
Okay.
Like, I have also realized that like, I think this was with another company who was looking for videos, and they were like, they had a very small budget, right? And they were like, we need this, and we need only you. Like, if you can do it, we really beg you. Or like the social media guy literally begged me,
Okay.
like, please, kar de yaar. I said no. Like, it should be worth my time. So for me, what I would do is, say, for example, if it's an early stage startup who's raised money, so I'll literally go and I'll check on the internet, saying that, okay, what is their marketing budget? How much are they willing
Okay.
to spend? Right? How much effort is good? It's gonna be from my end, right?
Okay.
So based on that, like, if you ask me, say, like, a 10-minute video if I have to create that too with high editing, like say Aevy, right? I would charge anywhere between 60K to 1 lakh.
Right.
Aram se, right? Because first of all, there's a lot of effort from my side. Secondly, I create the best videos
True.
in India, right?
True.
Right? And also, I feel that because मेरा उतना time जा रहा है, उतना मेरा effort जा रहा है, उतना मेरे ideas जा रहे हैं, my ideas are that worth. Like, you know, I would actually not even start from 60, I would start from 1 lakh, right? Because that is the production quality that I really create,
Yeah.
right? But if you tell me to edit, like, say for example, like a thing school, right?
Hmm.
Whether it's just stock footage playing, or if you tell me
Right.
to edit, like, say, technical guruji, right? I would charge very less because
Hmm. Okay.
first things first, there's not that much effort, right? मेरा
Right.
उतना thinking जा नहीं रहा है, उसमें मेरे ideas जा नहीं. I'm not sitting and creating anything from scratch. I can just find
बिल्कुल
the
right.
stock footages on the internet, and I can get my work done. I would do it for way more cheaper, right? So that's how you are supposed to price yourself. Like, price yourself on the amount of effort that you're putting in, right? That's what I would say.
Abhi, you said that you are the best video creator in India. I agree with you. No shit. ठीक है. But what what
Yeah,
helps you or what makes you stand apart from the crowd? Like what makes a video editor different from the crowd basically? भीड़ से अलग कैसे होते हैं?
that's a good question. So, for me, why I consider myself, one of the best in India, because first of all, I have proved it to especially a lot of creators and a lot of brands that I can grow a channel in 4 months.
Right.
That too at 150 75 subscriber scale, right? That too having 4.5 million views on the channel,
Right.
right? So it's not only about me understanding how to edit. It's not about me understanding how I add transitions or effects. I understand YouTube. I understand people, right?
Right.
I understand how to tell stories. Like, an editor's job is not only to just edit a video, like, technically, okay, Premiere में डाल दिया, import कर दिया, काट दिया,
Hmm.
ये कर दिया, package कर दिया, export कर दिया, दे दिया client
Exactly.
को, that's it. It's not that, right? We kind of understood that when you create good videos, when you create influence on our culture, right, and when the culture responds with that, that is something that which kind of validates me, like, that is something that kind of tells me that okay, you are one of the best because you've proved yourself, right, in front of the audience. And that too, it's a brutal world out
True.
there, right? People might
True.
say, oh, your videos are fuck all, and some videos might say, okay, your skits are cringe. But I can say one thing for a fact, that because we've reached that scale, and working with a beautiful team like Varun, Papa Aukus, right, and Varun Kuntur, Achina, I definitely think that we are, I would say, like, the highest production quality, especially in India, right,
You are.
with
You are.
post production and all that. So that's how I validate myself. It's not only about me, it's about also my team, also my environment, right? And I feel that this is the best team I could ever work with.
Wonderful. So is editing for YouTube different than editing for, let's say, a normal video?
At some extent, yes. To some extent, yes. Because first of all, on YouTube nowadays, what has happened is, as I don't know if you guys have heard about something called as retention editing, right? People always think
Yeah.
about retention first while they're editing. They don't care about the story. They'll try to make the video as fast as possible, right? Whereas if you're making a film, whereas if you're making a movie, you've seen there is almost like they'll set the story up first, then there's going to be a little bit of drama, there's going to be a little bit of climax, there's going to go up,
Yeah.
go up, go up, go up, and then there is going to be the result, and then it comes down. It's like a
Yeah.
median graph, right? So like a bell curve, basically, right?
Hmm. Yeah. Makes sense.
So that is how basically a story is told. But on YouTube, क्या करते हैं? Instead of that bell curve, the curve comes पहले only. I'm like, then what is the use of watching a YouTube
Yeah.
video, right? But we've also realized, like, after a point, that if you have a combination of both, right, of this and this, right, your video is definitely going to do well, right? Regardless if it's regardless of what kind of editing you do, what kind of effects you use. So yeah.
So can this be taught? Can video editing be taught? Matlab, obviously you can teach the person the tool, everything, the software, but can editing, the storytelling be taught?
For sure. I learned it over a course of, say, 2.5 years from my director, right? And it was the most basic stuff. Like, storytelling is not something like it has to be learned, right? Storytelling is like your daily life. Say for
Hmm.
example, your mom comes to you like, आज पता है वो जो शैला आंटी ने ऐसा ऐसा किया. right? That is also a story, right? Like where she comes, she's like, अरे उसको समझ में नहीं आता है ऐसा, वो आज भैया ने वो बराबर से you know 20 रुपए ज्यादा एक्स्ट्रा चार्ज कर लिया, हाँ इसके ग्रोसरीज के लिए. So that is also a story. The way you tell the story is the power,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
And I've realized that after, especially when I started learning storytelling, I started learning storytelling just by putting photos together, right?
Okay.
Like especially photos in an event. Say for example, I'm doing say a wedding, right? Wedding का entrance जैसा हुआ, the couple entered, then सब लोग ने आशीर्वाद दिया, ये किया, केक
Mm-hmm.
काटा, वो
Right.
किया, that entire timing. So basically, when you look at those photos, you're like, हाँ ऐसे ऐसे हुआ, ऐसे हुआ, ऐसे हुआ, ऐसे
Right.
हुआ, ऐसे हुआ, right? So that's how we tell a story, right? And especially shameless plug here, we also run a video editing cohort here at AV, right? We also have our second batch open. So if you want to learn editing, if you want to learn all these techniques, go check our editing cohort out, right? And we've placed almost like 60% of our cohort, right? People who wanted placements, right?
Wow.
And they are placed at one of the biggest creators and companies in India. So like people like Finance Charan, Abhinav Chikara. We also have Tech Burner, right? Who's
Okay.
hired from the
Wow.
cohort. We also have Nash Daily who's hiring from the cohort. So it's like it's
Amazing.
insane.
Actually insane. So tell me this, like, if I want to freelance, so is it better कि मैं अकेले freelance करूँ or I start an agency and work with a couple of like-minded people like me?
That's a good question. So it depends on what your mindset is, right? Say for example, you as a team want to collectively make more money, right? Because that's what freelancing normally people do freelancing, right? For money,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So what I would do is, if it was me starting again, I would first start with a team, because I know for a fact that I could, do multiple projects at once, right? I can
Makes
charge more
sense.
because I have a team, right? And then I can just
Yeah.
reap all of the benefits with my team, right? And then I
Yeah.
understand how to, how to solve problems as a team. I know how to, kind of understand how I can make more money with the team, and all of us become rich together, right?
Right.
Whereas if I'm doing freelance alone, I'll get bored after a point, and freelancing is a boring job. I'm going to be very honest here, because I did freelancing for a long time, and after a point I lost that motivation. I was like, I'm making money, but there's no purpose, or there's no fun element hai hi nahi,
Right.
right? So I was like, okay, if I'm doing it, I'll do it as a services business, right? And services for sure is boring, but if you do it with a team, if you do it with a team who's highly motivated, and if everyone is there during your highs and lows, and you have fun together, I feel that you can build a really good business. That's what Varun did,
Hmm.
right, with
Yeah.
Avalon Labs. It was a
Right.
services business, right? They were making money, right? They were getting like shit tons of profits and all, right? But after a point, it starts getting boring, right? So if tomorrow, if people are watching this podcast, if you want to make the money, and if you want VC funding for your next product or product or service, I would suggest first start freelancing. Try becoming more bootstrapped than raising money, right? Because you will have full control over the business, right? Instead of some other VC
Yeah.
coming and
Makes
giving
sense.
giving you money.
Makes sense. चलो अभी ये तो हो गया. Let's
Hmm.
talk about AVTV. How did
Hmm.
that happen?
So it's a very, I would say straightforward story. कुछ drama वगैरह है नहीं उसमें. So one day I think I was still working at Avalon, and one day Varun calls me to his office, and he's like, "Bro, I need to talk to you." And I was like, "Okay, what's up? What's happening?" Right? So he's like, "Bro, I have this idea of starting a new channel, right? With a couple of other people, right? And let's make the best content in India." And he had this idea for a long time, right? Like during Avalon also, we were thinking to make videos like, say, like Mr. Beast, right? Mr. Beast like India.
Okay.
Yeah, we were
Okay.
like, okay, we'll tip the Swiggy guy some $1,000 or $10,000, and we'll record his reaction or whatever, right? We were like, okay, let's try that, right? And that idea kind of flopped. We had tried that, I think, probably 6 months, 6 to 7 months ago, right? Before we started AV, right?
Okay.
And when we saw that, we were like, उसमें views आएंगे कि नहीं पता नहीं, right? I don't know if we'll gain that loyalty or distribution, because we don't know how Mr. Beast did it, right? And he's been doing
Mm-hmm.
it for a long time, right?
Right.
So you were like, okay, what else can work? What else can work? Then we tried, okay, let's see, agar Johnny Harris chalta hai kya? Like Johnny Harris type videos, where we just
Mm-hmm.
become very serious and have that suspense drama or whatever. We tried that as well, right? And we first thought we'll post it on EV, but we posted that kind of a video on Varun Maya. That's called the Indus Valley
Hmm.
Report, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that kind of, I don't know why it blew up, but it blew up. It got 500,000 views already.
It was
So
insane actually.
yeah,
That video was amazing.
we did that, and then we were like, okay, how? Because Varun is good at Varun is good at intellectual stuff, right? Focus is good at comedy, right? Coming up with humor or whatever, and we are good at editing, right? We are. I'm very good at putting stuff together, like with making sure the quality stays consistent and the flow is good. I was like, if we can do that, how about we just go ahead and do it? Right? We just try. And then we started, okay, we were like, chalo, let's start with a business case study. Right. So, first, I think we had shot one video on Netflix. Netflix's stock falling. And when we saw the video and the edit, we were like, oh my God, this is the most garbage video that we've ever created. Right. All of us, we were like,
Okay.
oh, damn, we put
Wow.
so much of effort, so much of time in costumes and this and acting and so many takes and all that. Then we were like, oh damn, what to do, right? Then we also shot another video on recession, right, where Shashank presented that video, right? So we thought that was we first while we were shooting, we thought, oh, recession is going to be the most boring video ever. But
Mm-hmm.
once it came out of editing, and when we saw the final video, uh, the Netflix video was garbage, but the recession video came out very well. So like, how about we just post
Yeah.
it? We posted it, and the retention numbers that we saw, especially on that first video, almost like getting 60 to 70% retention on a video in India,
Yep.
that too where the attention spans are very low. It felt insane, dude. And we were like, okay, if we are getting good responses, how about we just go this route? Then we started doing business case studies. We started, talking about Apple, Harvard, Tata, Reliance, K-pop, Marvel, right? And those videos kind of blew up because people kind of understood. So it's like they had that element. हाँ, ये video देखने के बाद मेरे को कुछ समझा.
Hmm.
मेरे
Right.
दिमाग में कुछ
Exactly.
information गया. Something I didn't know about this company that I know now. Say for example, Apple. Apple didn't know. Like people didn't know about this Apple's privacy scam, right? Where they were saying, okay, we are going to be very, we are very serious about your privacy, right? But at the end of the day, they were also running an ad network. They've started an ad network
Hmm.
now, right? Where they are kicking Facebook's butt, right, with the ads business, right? And Facebook is losing almost $600 billion every year in marketing. So yeah, so
Yeah.
that's what, like, we love kind of giving new information to people in a way that where it sticks. Like I saw some comments, especially on the channel, where they were like, मैंने बहुत सारे चैनल्स देखे ऑन द सेम टॉपिक, राइट? बट मेरे को एवी टीवी ने किड्स किड्स पे जो किया वो मेरे को याद है. That's what they've told. They've
Nice.
told in the comments, and I'm like,
Nice.
bro, that's insane. Like, if you have that recalling thing, that's pretty good, right? Where you can
Right.
recall whatever you learned, right? So yeah.
With AevyTV, obviously the YouTube content is awesome. Okay.
Hmm.
You've also done NFT drops. You have also done the
Yeah,
editing cohort.
yeah.
So, are there some big plans for AevyTV in the coming future? Yeah, fair. Just
Big
figuring
plans
out.
for sure, for sure. We are working on a lot of ideas right now, which are like secret for now. Will come out very soon, right? And I can't wait to kind of reveal most of the ideas, because whatever we've thought about is like, we are like, okay, the idea should sound insane,
Hmm.
right? When we
Right.
discuss it also, it should sound insane. If it does, then people will love it, right? Because every single thing that we've especially done, like with the NFT drop, because in India, like with our audience especially, when we dropped the NFT, people didn't even know how to mint an NFT.
Yeah.
People didn't even
Yeah.
know what Polygon is. People didn't even know what
Yeah.
blockchain is, right? And we were happy to see that people are literally taking the first step to create a MetaMask wallet, right? And kind
Yeah.
of mint that NFT and be like, okay, ha, ye mera NFT hai, right? This is my digital
Yeah.
collectible, right? And when they go and show it off to their friends, that okay, ha, maine bhi NFT hai kiya. It feels good because normally NFTs are not minted for free, right? And we
Yeah.
took the entire, burden of, the gas fees and everything.
Hmm. Right.
So looking at that, you build loyalty, right? And people will be like also, हाँ मेरे life में एक बार NFT mint किया, right? And that feels good, right? Even
Yep.
like me, for me personally, when I look at people who who actually have power and they understand how NFTs and crypto works, right? It feels good because at the end of the day, they know that they learned it, from here, right? And I
Yeah.
I, I really look forward to teaching more people on how basically the entire world works, and it goes up from there. So yeah.
तो ठीक है ये हो गया. But the first time I found out about you was when Achina Maya posted a video of the Dubai Museum,
Yeah.
and I was blown away by the edits. So, as an editor, is it important for you to have a unique style of editing that people recognize you कि अच्छा ये video इन्होंने किया होगा इन्होंने किया होगा? Is that important?
No, I don't think so. If you're an
Okay.
editor, you can, if you've exposed yourself to various different things, you can, as an editor, you can edit any style of editing, right? For
Hmm.
me, I shifted from editing company videos like ads. I came from that background to editing like Johnny Harris, almost editing
Hmm.
like Johnny Harris, right? Then shifting my entire focus from there to making AV videos, right?
Hmm.
Plus making music videos and all. Plus music videos, right? I never edited a
Right.
music video. I edited music videos in the past for freelance basis, but I was like, I don't edit like that. But I had to expose myself, and if I didn't, like, I would still be a technical editor, right? A real
Hmm.
editor will
Right.
always, like, expose himself to something and he'll immerse himself into something, right?
Uh,
So if tomorrow if you tell me, okay, you have to edit a movie, I will. I can, right? The only thing that I have to do is just take that first step and be like, okay, I'll figure it out, whatever it is, right?
hmm.
So that is the entire game, right? And people kind of feel scared to start from that phase, right? Because I've seen a lot of people, like when I tell them, okay, After Effects mein ye karna hai, right? Even my editors for that matter, right? Everyone is very good right now at what they do. Like there are people like, for example, Sagar from my team, right? He never used to edit videos, right? He used to just use Premiere. He used to clip out the best clippings from Varun Maya or AV or whatever, and he used to post it on the channel, right? But today, when I look at his work, he literally makes compositions on After Effects, right? And I am like, bro, how did you get here? You're like, bro, I just got motivated by all of you guys doing After Effects. So that is the kind of push that you should kind of have, right? If you give it a start and if you're like, okay, हाँ मेरे को ऐसा करना है, this ये मेरी मंजिल है, यहाँ पे जाना है मुझे, तो हो जाता है. So it's only you putting that first step in, right? That's how you'll kind of learn.
Awesome. So, where to learn from? Any resources you followed while you were learning?
Learning about what? Editing?
Editing, yeah.
Okay. So most of my learning came only through experience, right?
Hmm. Okay.
For the technical part, I would say I learned it online, right? I learned it from various different sites, and there's no one creator that I've learned from because a lot of people are creating videos, right? And I always think that you don't need to learn a software completely, right? You just have to learn it enough to get comfortable with the tool, right? So think about, say for example, I have to create a video for the Varun Maya channel, like an Indus Valley report, right?
Hmm.
How do I make the software as an extension to my brain? Like I want to be like, okay, हाँ मेरे को ये suspense लेके आना है in the start. I want to bring this
Hmm.
entire hook. I want
Wow.
to, uh, I want to shift the focus from it being a boring video to a video which is very serious and very where people will be like, what the hell is happening,
Right.
right? So
Hmm.
I wanted to kind of do that, and now I've become so comfortable with the tool. If I think about something in 30 seconds, it's already on the computer, it's already on the software, because I
Wow.
understand the software really well, and the software is already an extension to my brain. I know three different ways of doing something, right? If I want to do this, I'll be like, okay, ये way नहीं चल रहा है, ये वाला भी नहीं चल रहा है, okay, third वाला चल जाएगा, वो वाला try करूंगा मैं, right?
Hmm.
So I feel that once the software is an extension to your brain, I think things will become easier. And you don't need to learn everything. But if you want to try something new, I would definitely recommend go check out some tutorials or some blogs or the forum or whatever on the internet and learn. Right? Your first iteration will be the worst iteration ever. But
Yeah.
your 10th or the 20th or 50th iteration will be the best.
Yeah.
Right? Like Indus Valley report, jo aaya, it's been 6 years of my life. I've worked hard for
Yeah.
6 years to kind of create these kind of videos.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah,